You know you should have some money put aside for emergencies, but you're not quite sure how to make it happen. Maybe you're already operating on a tight budget. Maybe you have tried making savings a priority before and failed. How do you manage to pay your monthly bills and still have enough left over to put aside for a rainy day? Here are 7 easy ways to build an emergency savings fund, whatever your current income. Hey there, welcome to the Daytime Dollar, where we talk about financial strategies and how small changes can make big improvements. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Today, we'll discuss the importance of emergency funds and how to build them. So let's get into it. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is a cash set aside to cover the cost of unexpected and often expensive events. These savings are meant to be used for urgent needs like paying rent when your income dries up, or to foot an unplanned medical bill. Of all the emergency fund benefits, the biggest one is that it allows you to pay for life's necessities without having to rack up a balance on your card, take out a loan, or tap into your home's equity. An emergency fund is not a personal slush fund for when your skis break and you are eyeing a new dress for your best friend's wedding. Knowing when to use your emergency fund is as important as knowing why you need one. Why is an emergency fund important? For Lucan, the need for an emergency fund became clear when her car's alternator failed. She had to resort to payday loans to pay to fix it, and that led to credit problems. That started a cycle of payday loans that spiraled out of control, she says. Setting up an emergency fund by opening a savings account was transformative for Lucan, who recommends saving at least 6 months' worth of your salary for unexpected costs. An emergency fund is like a shock absorber between you and life, she says. I still have vet bills and car repairs, but they are less stressful and disruptive because I have the money in savings to cover the cost. Consider these common situations where you may need a safety net. Number 1. Job loss. Your emergency fund is there for you if you lose your primary source of income. People lose their job unexpectedly and have had to figure it out, says David Wright, a personal finance blogger. If they had an emergency fund, they could have cash available to pay their rent, utilities, etc. Without that fund, how would you be able to make ends meet? It can also help you continue an upward career trajectory if you happen to lose your job. Your emergency fund grants you the time you need to make a thoughtful choice about what your next career move will be and financially prepare for a job transition. If you have an emergency fund, you can focus on finding the next job that's right for you. Number 2. Medical or dental bills. Whether it's an unexpected illness or a major accident, an emergency fund helps you to pay for big medical expenses that could otherwise hurt you financially. Even if you have medical or dental insurance, you could still have to pay for all or part of your care out of pocket. In addition to deductibles, some procedures might not be covered, or you may max out your coverage for non-essential healthcare in your planning year. If you're looking for reasons to have an emergency fund, imagine scrambling to come up with the funds to cover a medical emergency, rather than taking care of yourself. When you're not worried about the cost of your medical care, Lucan says, you can concentrate on getting better. Number 3. Home repairs. Imagine this. You're sitting down on the couch to watch a movie with a bowl of popcorn and suddenly your toilet begins overflowing. Not only would that ruin your evening plans, but an expensive visit from the plumber could break your budget. Yet another good reason to stockpile some emergency savings. While most people have homeowners insurance, some expenses aren't covered by insurance. Even if the expenses are covered, the insurance provider may be slow to pay. With an emergency fund, you'll be able to pay for unforeseen but necessary home repairs, like if you need to repair or replace appliances, without having to charge large sums to your card. Tips for building an emergency fund. Number 1. Start small. Even if you can only save a small amount of money each month, it is important to start building your emergency fund. As you continue to save, you can increase the amount you set aside each month. Number 2. Automate your savings. Consider setting up automatic transfers from your checking to your emergency savings account to make the process of saving easier and more consistent. Number 3. Trim your budget. Look for areas in your budget where you can cut back on discretionary spending and redirect those funds towards building your emergency fund. Number 4. Keep it separate. It's important to keep your emergency fund in a separate account from your regular spending accounts. This way, you're less likely to dip into it for non-emergency expenses. So guys, that's all about today's topic. See you soon in the next video. Goodbye.